So, guys, today I want to tell you all a story. Story time. I don't usually do these. I usually keep the majority of stories to myself, but I believe there's a pretty good lesson in this one, so I'm gonna say it. So, I was going to see this girl, right? I was going to Prague to see this girl, like a 2 hour trip for me, which was, in my opinion, uh, I wouldn't say that was a mistake, okay? But I wouldn't do that again, okay? I wouldn't travel such a long distance for a girl because you know how flaky girls are and stuff. And that's gonna play a major role in this story. So, where to start? So I met this girl on Instagram. She DM'd me first. And we started talking, blah blah blah. And about a week after talking, yeah, a week. Yeah, I didn't set a date immediately. I just turned 16, I believe. It was like a year and a half ago. I just turned 16 at the time. And so I've said we can go for coffee sometime. You can come to my city. And she said like something that she's busy with school and shit. She was, I believe, 19 and I was 16. And she said that she can't really travel that much. So I offered myself like a dummy. I offered myself, because we were speaking about going in the week time, like on a Wednesday or something like that. And me, like that girl could have come to me like on a Friday or a Saturday, but I decided that I was so impatient that I was gonna go tomorrow to Prague to see her. So I went. I went there about 2 or 3 p.m. I believe, right after school. I didn't even go home. I went straight on a train to Prague. It cost me like $6 or $7, something like that. It was like an hour-long trip with a train. I think like an hour and a half, something like that. So we already planned like where we're gonna go for coffee, the coffee shop, and everything. And I was supposed to go from the train station. Like traveling by train is no problem for me, but from a train station, I was supposed to go on a tram. And for anybody who's been in Prague yet, the capital of Czech Republic, if you've been in Prague and seen the trams there, like all the different stations, like B6, A14, or C2, like all these fucking numbers and letters, like I was so confused. So I bought a ticket for all the city of Prague. It would cost me like another like $5, but it was an hour long ticket or like 30 minutes. I can travel through all the trams all of Prague, so that's a pretty good price. And in Prague everything's expensive, okay, so I expected it to be like that. Anyhow, so I bought a ticket and I saw like on the ticket like which tram should I take. It was like the underground. I don't know actually. Fucking hell. Let me correct myself. I don't know if it's called trams or the underground. Like, let me check it out and I'll get back to you. Okay, so let me repair myself. It's the Prague underground train. Wait a second. Wait a second. So yeah, it's the Prague underground train. So I can show you the map already. Okay, like it's maybe it may not seem complicated for some people, but for me this is complicated as hell. Like I got no idea where the fuck should I be. So yeah, it's for me it was very complicated, okay? So I ended up getting there, bought my tickets, saw the tram I was supposed to go on, and what happened? I made a mistake. I confused a letter or something. I got on the wrong train. It was an underground train, it wasn't a tram, okay? I confused those. So when I got out and when it was the last final station, they said like street and something that I was somewhere that I was not supposed to go on. I had my Google Maps, and on Google Maps obviously underground, so you don't have the signal, so you don't see where you're going. But as soon as I got out, I saw that I was like fucking like I was like 2 or 3 kilometers from where I was supposed to be at. And I was supposed to meet this girl in like 15 minutes or 10 minutes or something like that. So I could have made it if I ran, but I decided just to call this girl and say that I'm canceling. I basically I flaked on her, but I didn't flake on her because I went all the way like an hour long train ride to see her, and then I went to the underground trains, and I caught the wrong train. But I lied to her and I told her that I'm flaking on her. I told her that I just couldn't make it, whatever. Like 10 minutes before when she was already ready and, she was already there. So she was obviously pissed off, or she was always like, I can't believe you did this. I felt like a dickhead because I knew that I would travel like an hour long. At this point, I traveled like almost an hour and a half or 2 hours to see her. But now I lied to her that I'm flaking on her because how should I say? I confused the trams, or I made a mistake. Okay, I got there on the wrong train, and I didn't have the balls to tell her the truth that I made a mistake because my ego would get fucking offended back then, or my ego would get hurt. So I decided to tell her that I'm flaking on her. So then I take a look at a ticket, and I see that I got on the wrong train. So I still had that ticket going for like the next 5 or 10 minutes, something like that. And I see that I could get there in time, but my ticket would expire mid ride. So what I decided to do is buy another ticket for another 30 minutes all through Prague. So this time I spent $10 on underground tickets. $10 on underground tickets. I'm like, okay, I have to tell her the truth because $10, come on now, this is fucking pathetic. I'm spending so much money in Prague for nothing. I mean, $10 is nothing, alright? But it's like I'm spending money just for train tickets, and I'm spending time most importantly. I spent like 2 hours on the way to Prague and in Prague without seeing this girl. So I text her once again, hey, no, I can make it actually in like 15 minutes. Because I believe in myself right now. I saw my mistake. It was like some letter, I don't even remember. It was a year and a half ago. I got on the wrong train. Now I know what train I should go on. And I told her the truth. Because she was like, I told her, yeah, I can make it actually in like 15 minutes. And she was like, what the fuck, how? You said that you can make it. I said, yeah, I lied. I'm already in Prague. I just got on the wrong underground train. So yeah, I met her. I went late for the date for like 25 minutes late. But you know what? This story taught me an important lesson. Is to have balls to tell the truth, to lower your ego, and to admit that you can make a mistake. Listen, man, telling the truth is so liberating because, man, the way that I felt when I told her that I couldn't make it, basically when she thought I was flaking on her when I was not, I felt horrible because I knew that wasn't true, and I'm already in Prague. I've already spent money and time to get there, and now I'm gonna lie to her that I'm flaking on her. Like I felt so bad, you know. Like if I was actually flaking on her, I wouldn't even go out of my home. Okay, that would have been a little bit better. I'm not saying you should be flaking on girls, bro. You shouldn't be doing it. Just because girls do it to you doesn't mean you have to lower to their level and do it back to them. What I'm gonna say is, I learned from that story, always tell the truth. Because the truth is so liberating, bro. It was like, oh, like a rock fell off my fucking heart. Like, man, I don't have to carry this lie anymore, you know? She doesn't have to think that I'm a dickhead anymore. So, yeah, I went on coffee with her and I kissed her actually. And, yeah, after that, yeah, the story somehow vanished. But I was 16, you know. I didn't really know what I was doing, and that's okay. So what I'm gonna say is, these are learning lessons, you know, guys. So I've learned here, don't lie if you don't have to. Like, I could have just told her the truth immediately, like, and yes, I would seem like an idiot, but I wouldn't seem like a bitch. You see, when I told her that I lied to her, I made a mistake, so I'm looking like a fool. But I even look like a bitch because I lied to her. So I'm a fool and a bitch. I could have been only a fool for making a mistake, and it could have been funny. You know, we could have laughed it off. But now she was like, okay, this motherfucker is lying to me. Like, what the fuck? Like, she'd be like, what the fuck is actually going on with this dude? So she thought I was a bitch, of course. Bro, like, what the fuck? And she was also 3 years older than me. She was 19, I was 16. Yeah, it wouldn't have worked out anyways. But I'm glad I did it. I don't regret it because this was a learning lesson. And also, yeah, I wouldn't date older women than me right now, you know. Maybe smash them, but don't date them or anything. And anyhow, Guys, hope this inspired you to be more honest with yourself and the others, you know? Because, like, listen, a lie can carry you only so much. Like, if I kept the lie, if I had such a big ego that I would keep the lie, and I would have went back home, I would have wasted like 3 or 4 hours, like 15 or maybe even 18, $20, and I would have wasted my time and $20 with nothing, for nothing. At least I met a girl, and at least I got a learning lesson that saying the truth is very, very liberating. So that's what I suggest, guys. I suggest you really tell the truth. If there's not any major consequences, but anyhow, I think that you should be telling the truth even if there are gonna be consequences. You know, because it's so fucking. It's like you don't have to carry the burden of carrying a truth and keeping that of carrying a lie and keeping that lie alive. You know, I feel like this is so. It keeps you so free. Like, yeah, you know what? I'm not gonna get into this anymore. I think that you guys can take the advice and you can take the lesson from this yourself. You can extrapolate it in your life, and whatever that suits you. Hope this video was helpful, and yeah, man. You know what? I probably should tell you some more stories because I got some really fun stories that happened to me, bro. So anyhow, guys, thanks a lot, and yeah, I'll catch you guys on the next one. Goodbye.